My name is Frank Heckman. You could best call me a social architect. An ample 20 years of helping people and systems move towards renewal. Currently Professor of Sustainable Performance at Codarts, the University of the Arts in Rotterdam, helping young performance to reach the world stage. Oftentimes, as I've told you, I coach some Olympic athletes, and with the modern communication I usually text message them before they reach their finals or the important match, and I usually text the same message always, and it reads: do your dance, play your game, and hit them hard. You think, oh, what is this about? But you know, it needs a little explanation. Do your dance means that you are really aware of who you are. Because if you are really authentically yourself and express yourself, expression and function really merge, and you really are able to be who you are, then you are dancing. That's when you dance. You dance when you are really congruent with what you are inside and how you operate on the outside, to say it plainly. So that's the dance, your own signature. And the second part, play your game, it's about tactics. It's about your awareness of the environment. It's how you respond to things around you, how you relate to people. Because the notion of the individual is an interesting one, because we're stuck with it a little bit. And in fact, you know, those brains of ours, these large brains, there's all social creativity and intelligence, and a couple of decennium of industrial revolution and information innovations really don't change that much. We're hardwired to be social beings. So that's the second part, is play your game. That means that you are in sync and in touch with your environment and with the people around you. And the last one is hit them hard. Yes, of course you need to make an impact on something, whether you're a performer, whether you're a businessman, whether you're a change agent, whether you're an academic. There's something that you want to reach, something you want, when you express it, it has an effect on something else. What's the influence that goes out from your actions? And that kind of influence determines your leadership. So the overcompassing idea is really about consciousness. If you raise your consciousness about who you truly are, you are in sync with it. If you are in touch with your environment, then the logical consequence is that you have an impact, and that's you hit them hard. I mean, for athletes, that's a common language, of course. Well, for those, just flow, of course, is not just go with the flow, but flow is the work and the studies of Professor Mihai over the last 30 years plus. And it's about that heightened state of attention that people are in when they fully immerse in what they do and the activity that they do. And they lose themselves in their work, if you could say. But this heightened state of attention is not something, you know, supernatural. It's not something like athletes say, oh, it's the ideal performance state, that's you never reach it. It's not true. It's a natural thing to be in flow. It's a natural order of things. So being in flow means that you are completely attentive in that what you are doing. And it's a beautiful lead to organize yourself around. So in much of my work that I do over the last 20 years, flow is the crimson line that runs through it all. I don't address it that much, but I'm using it to organize systems or people around it. So what are some of the things that you should not be doing in order to invite, you know, the miracle, which is flow? because the state of flow is a heightened state of attention, a heightened state of consciousness, where you push the boundaries into new realities. And that's what change agents are supposed to do. They need to nibble at the edges of the status quo to move into new genotypes. You're always operating on the edge of chaos and order. And flow is on the edge of boredom and challenge and anxiety, you would say. And on that edge, you know, new things start to happen. And on that edge, your nervous system is at such a level that you can either go overboard and get anxious, or you get into this deep state of attention. And that's an interesting part, because there you renew yourself, because any flow experience that you've had is something that nobody can ever take away from you. It's almost like life is never the same again, but you know, on a small scale. But it changes you. Csikszentmihalyi calls it in his research, you become more complex in a way. It's the anatomy of consciousness. So you move it up, so it's ever going up and becoming more complex. Just nibbling away at the edges at all times, and that's the profession of a change agent. In the research that I'm writing about now, I took 40 artists, students and teachers of the University of the Arts in Rotterdam on a journey. And that journey is the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is described by Joseph Campbell, the great mythologist who wrote the book The Hero with a Thousand Faces. And so the hero's journey worldwide has a structure to it. And in that structure, I believe, and I can see it now, people reach these flow experiences more easily, because it takes into consideration all the elements that are involved. But the key element is, and that's your question, is that what Csikszentmihalyi calls an autotelic experience. Auto meaning self, and telos, goal. You somehow have to step into the place where you begin to take charge of your life. And in spite of the social controls. They're always there, you have to reckon with them, and you have to manage it, but when you are really in charge, you're autotelic in that sense. Autotelic people have more flow experiences, as the research shows. Then you are beginning to navigate on your own compass. And in the hero's journey, that is the most critical thing. That you realize that it's not the journey with Frank Heckman, but it's your journey. It's you are sailing, and you are navigating, and you are facing the storm, and your holy challenges is to bring the grail home. Or when it really storms, to find the eye of the storm and be able to stick with it. And you can only do it when you've made the decision and decided to will it. You are in the center of the universe. That's the most primary condition to become a interesting or an earth-moving or a good change agent. Well, the advice is actually quite simple, and I wish I would have given myself that advice years ago, but it's really about taking time to do nothing, taking time to be still, taking time to really sit, get grounded, or stand and get grounded, and let everything that is bothering you, or the things that you are enthusiastic about, it's both ways, problems and excitement, quiet down until you really are still, and then with the first movement comes up again, start working. And do that regularly, because that's the way you renew, and that's the way you originate.